Hello and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll continue to explore some truly mind-blowing stories that are so unbelievable, you might think they're made up. But trust us, these incredible tales are completely true. From a law praising a notorious serial killer to a movie made with stolen funds, these stories will leave you astounded. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be amazed by our top picks for mind-blowing stories you won't believe are true. Which country was the first in the world to be led by a woman as a result of elections? Salchik Toka was the General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Tuvan People's Revolutionary Party, and later the first Secretary of the Obkom of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union for over 40 years. His wife, Kertek Enkima Toka, became the chairperson of the Little Khural, the Parliament of Tuva, after the 1940 elections and held the position until the republic became part of the RSFSR. Legally, it was the chairperson of the Little Khural who led the Tuvan People's Republic. Based on this, Kertek became the first woman in the world to be an elected head of state, although real power remained in the hands of her husband. In which country is there a movement aimed at combining the practices of Islam and Christianity? Nigeria is roughly evenly divided between Muslims and Christians. Since the 1970s, there has been a movement called Chrislam in Lagos, created by combining the practices of the two religions. In one of the Chrislam temples, believers are required to walk 7 times around a replica of the Kaaba, filled with holy water, while alternately shouting, Allahu Akbar, and Hallelujah, as part of the ritual. What mistake led to the appearance of a chicken wearing pants on the coat of arms of a Dutch village? One of the heraldic traditions prescribes choosing a drawing for a coat of arms based on the literal meaning of the surname or the name of the settlement. Due to their incorrect interpretation, sometimes there are absurdities. For example, the coat of arms of the German city of Kropelen depicts a cripple, in German, Kruppel. Although, according to linguists, the name does not come from the word for cripple, but from the Slavic word, krepelice, which means, the place where quails live. The coat of arms of the Dutch village of Hensbroek features a chicken wearing pants, from the words, hen, and, broek, while in reality, its name is due to the Haina marsh. Why were special signs made for the small English river Uck? In southeastern England, there is a small river called the Uck. Jokers often added the letter F to the name on road signs that read, River Uck. As a result, the local authorities created signs with a special shape that makes vandalism more difficult. What unique material is most of the clothing in North Korea made from? Most clothing in North Korea is made of a unique material called vinylon, which is a synthetic fiber made from polyvinyl alcohol. In 1939, a group of Japanese and Korean scientists developed the material using limestone and anthracite as raw materials. Vinylon production was later established in North Korea, and it was declared one of the foundations of the Juche ideology. North Koreans wear more vinylon clothing than any other synthetic or natural material, and vinylon has not been widely used anywhere else in the world. What national clothing was invented by a Japanese immigrant? Hawaiian shirts are not the original clothing of the local population. They were invented and started to be sold in the early 20th century at the store of Japanese immigrant Tetaro Miyamoto. Do mice have a special attraction to cheese? The claim that mice love cheese is greatly exaggerated by popular culture, as they have not evolved to eat anything like it. If given a choice, a mouse will prefer something sweet or, for example, grain over cheese. The roots of the misconception may go back to the Middle Ages, when refrigeration was not available and cheeseheads were stored in ordinary rooms. If the disappearance of a few grains could not always be noticed, the bite marks on the cheese were clearly visible. What plant produces ready-to-use shampoo? The zarunbet from the ripe fruits of the ginger plant growing in the tropical Asia-Pacific region can be squeezed to obtain an aromatic viscous liquid. Local women have long used it as a shampoo and hair conditioner. Why does only the stop sign have an octagonal shape? In most countries, the no stopping road sign appears as a red octagon with the word stop on it. The idea to give the sign such a unique shape was proposed back in 1922 in the United States with the aim of ensuring that drivers seeing only the reverse side of the sign understood that oncoming cars must stop here. Which metal provides the protective luminescence in euro banknotes? One of the security features of euro banknotes is luminescence under ultraviolet light, which is achieved using compounds of the metal europium. The European Central Bank does not provide any comments regarding the reason for this choice. Whether europium provides greater anti-counterfeiting resistance compared to other rare earth metals, or it was chosen primarily due to its fortunate name. In which lake are there special islands for discussions and agreements? In the Scottish Lake Leven, there is a tiny island called the Island of Discussion, in English. People who lived nearby and had a dispute, such as over land ownership, used to come here. When the conflict was resolved, the former disputants would sail to another island in the same lake, the Island of Agreement, where they confirmed and celebrated the agreement reached. What name is transitional from one star to another? The name of the star that serves as a guide from one star to another is not fixed. The polar star, which is used to orient oneself towards the north, is not a fixed object since the Earth's axis periodically changes its position due to lunar solar precession. For example, during the construction of the Egyptian pyramids, the polar star was Alpha Draconis, and during the period of the ancient Greek civilization, it was Beta Ursae Minoris. Until the beginning of our era, there was no single polar star, and only since the 12th century has it become the familiar Alpha Ursae Minoris. By the year 3200, the polar star will shift to the constellation Cepheus. What are the differences between the dances of different bee species? Karl von Frisch, who received the Nobel Prize for deciphering the dance language of bees, suggested the existence of dialects of this language among different bee species. In 2020, scientists from the University of Würzburg experimentally confirmed this hypothesis. As is known, a scout bee communicates to her fellow bees the angle and distance of a flight to a nectar-bearing plant during the dance. The duration of the abdomen waggle is proportional to the distance, but not absolute, but in relation to the characteristic radius of flight around the hive for a given species. If we compare the Chinese wax bee, whose radius is about 1 kilometer, with the Indian giant bee, whose radius is 2.5 times larger, the first bee will waggle its abdomen much longer than the second bee to convey the same distance, for example, 800 meters. What number do you need to type into a search engine to see people sticking their heads in the fridge? If you type 241,543,903 into a search engine, you can see many photos of people sticking their heads in the fridge. The flash mob started in 2009, when American artist David Horvitz published the first photo of this kind, accompanied by the sequence of numbers, and called on his followers to follow his example. The idea quickly went viral on social media, becoming particularly popular in Brazil and Japan. However, the number 241,543,903 has no secret meaning. Horvitz came up with it by combining the serial number of his fridge with the barcodes on some products. In which country do libraries keep bats? The João Guimarães Library at the University of Coimbra in Portugal is home to many bats that hunt insects harmful to books at night. The bookshelves are covered with sheets every evening, and the bat droppings are cleaned up in the morning. A similar collaboration exists in another Portuguese library located in the Mafra Palace. Where and when was a law almost passed praising a serial killer? On April 1, 1971, Texas State Representative Tom Moore Jr. introduced a bill praising serial killer Albert DeSalvo, known as the Boston Strangler. The document specifically noted his effective population control efforts. After the bill was unanimously passed, Moore withdrew it, calling attention to the need to read the text of what one is voting for. Which movie about a financial fraudster was filmed with stolen money? The film, The Wolf of Wall Street, tells the story of a broker involved in financial fraud. After the release of the film, it was revealed that the producer, Riza Aziz, had funded it with money stolen from the Malaysian state fund 1MDB. His stepfather, Najib Tun Razak, who was then the Prime Minister of Malaysia, was also implicated in the scandal and later convicted of financial crimes. Which game inspired the creation of QR code? Workers at the Japanese engineering corporation Denso, who spent a lot of time scanning barcodes, asked developers to increase the amount of information in them. That's when engineer Masahiro Hara took on the task and came up with the QR code. Its shape was inspired by the engineer's love for the game of Go, which is played with black and white stones on a square board. And there you have it, our list of mind-blowing stories that will make you question everything you thought you knew. Who would have thought that a popular game like Go could inspire the creation of the QR code? Or that a bill praising a serial killer would almost become a law? We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories. Thank you for watching.